Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel. Well, here we are again, a new bike in the garage. And this is a brand new 2026 KTM 690 Enduro R. And I know that some of you are probably thinking, hey wait, another one? Didn't you already own this platform before, or didn't you just sell the FE501? And you would be right. So today I want to walk you through the entire thought process. This wasn't an impulse buy. This was the result of a long research, a few failed attempts, and a bit of perfect timing. Let's get into why I'm back on the 690 platform and why this bike is here to stay. And stick around until the very end because I'll be taking this bike straight to the city traffic to give you the raw, unfiltered sound everyone wants to hear. To really understand this decision, we have to rewind a little bit. As many of you know, I used to own a 2021 Husky 701 Enduro and I absolutely loved that bike. The power, the versatility, for the kind of dual sport riding I do, it was nearly perfect. I only sold it because my needs changed. I needed something more capable on the highway, something I could comfortably take a passenger on, which in 2023 led me to the KTM 890 Adventure R. But as soon as the 890 arrived, I started missing that lightweight, flickable bike for my weekend off-road trips. I tried to fill that gap on a budget, first with a CRF 250L. It was a great, reliable bike, but let's be honest, after coming from a 701, it just didn't have the excitement factor. So I sold that and got the Husky FE501, a phenomenal enduro machine. In my last video, I explained all of the reasons why I sold it, but the short version is that it was a bit too much of a race bike for my casual dual sport needs. So about 2 or 3 months ago, with the FE501 on the market, the search began for its replacement, and I was truly determined to explore my options. So first up, I seriously considered the new Suzuki DR-Z4S. I never owned a Suzuki, and the idea of getting to know a new brand was really tempting. But it had a few major drawbacks for me. First, it was almost impossible to get a test ride now in Poland. Second, it is a very old design with a facelift, and the biggest deal breaker, no sixth gear. For those rides where I have to hit the highway to get to the trails, that is a no-go. What about the Chinese brands? Well, honestly, no. For me, concerns about long-term reliability and parts availability are still too high. Now, I know someone's going to type in the comments, hey, but you bought a KTM. And you are not wrong about their old reputation. But let's be real, KTM is a massive global brand with now Bajaj heavily involved. That makes me much less worried about getting parts for this bike. Looking at the other Japanese brands, there wasn't much. A Honda CRF 300L would have been my third attempt with that platform, and I already knew it wouldn't give me the thrill I was looking for. So all roads led me back here, back to the 690 platform. I knew I loved my old 701. I knew it was the right balance between power, weight, and capability for me. So the plan was quite simple, get another one. My first idea was to try and swap my FE501 for a 690. I posted on a Facebook forum looking for an almost new KTM 690, Husky 701, or even a Gas 700. I wanted something with limited, tasteful mods. I am not a huge fan of big Rade garage kits, for example. And I got close, twice. The first guy had a great bike, it was a gas, but it was just too heavily modified for my taste. The second potential swap was a for KTM 690, but the bike was owned by the company, and swapping it for my privately owned FE 501 created some tax headaches that we were just not able to solve. So it was a dead end. Swapping was out. My plan B was to buy a used one. So I started sourcing the Polish used market, but the prices were surprisingly high. And then the final piece of the puzzle fell into place. Just as I sold the 501 and had the cash in hand, KTM announced the prices for the new 2026 models. And get this, here in Poland, the price for the new KTM 690 and Husky 701 is actually lower than the 2024 models were. So suddenly the decision became crystal clear. Why buy a used bike with no warranty for just a little less when I could add a bit more money and get a brand new 0-kilometer latest generation machine? So I started calling dealers. Most of them told me that the bikes wouldn't arrive until early November. But I found one dealer here in Warsaw who said, yep, we've got them on the floor right now. And that was it. I made the call, and here it is. So to sum it all up, I wanted to get back to the 690 platform I loved. I tried to swap, I looked at the used market, but in the end the new pricing and the local availability made buying a brand new 2026 model the most logical choice. Now look, I am not trying to be like the Ian from the Big Rock Moto here. I know I have a history of buying and selling bikes. But this one feels different. This is the bike I should have just kept in the first place. In fact, I am so confident that I have a bet with two of my friends that I will keep this motorcycle for at least 5 years. So this bike is here to stay. I have already got some mods on the way, and I will